It's your boy back for another episode of that new sports podcast, Sports Plus Life. I'm your boy, cut that music off. I'm your host, your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. And today is Friday. It is Black Friday. It is November 23rd, 2018, the day after Thanksgiving. First and foremost, I again hope everybody had a wonderful, safe holiday, that nobody went out being irresponsible, trying to turn up a little too much. I hope everybody got their grub on and just had a good night. Enjoyed yourself with family, friends, all your loved ones. And I know me, personally, we crushed over here. You know what I mean? We crushed over here. We ain't crushed until about 7 o'clock, actually. 7 o'clock. But when we crushed. And everything was delicious. Oh, my gosh. We don't even eat turkey over here. This is the first time that we actually cooked a turkey on Thanksgiving. And it was delicious. It was delicious. The greens were awesome. First time we had collard green. And the mashed potatoes was hitting. Macaroni and cheese was hitting. String bean casserole was hitting. You know. The chitlins was hitting. And I know some people might be like, ew, how can you eat the chitlin, man? Kiss my ass. If you can eat bologna, you can eat anything. People say, well, the smell is stink. Da-da-da-da-da. If it really stinks like that, if you can smell it a mile away, then they ain't been cleaned right. They ain't been cleaned right, and they ain't being cooked right. Because, chitlins be good. And people always try to discourage me and say, you know where that comes from? Do you know what it is? Do you know where that comes from? You know what you're eating? Man, anytime you go to a fucking Chinese spot, do you know what the hell you eating? Most likely not. But does it taste good? Does it make you feel good? Then, all right. I love chitlins. Oh, and I really only eat them for Thanksgiving. So when I get my portion of chitlins, I get a good portion of chitlins. All right. Definitely. But, I will say this, it was hard for me to try to focus in on the third game. I was between stand-up Netflix specials and the Saints and the Falcons because, man, I was fighting it once I finally sat down. Oh, that itis was kicking in for real. I mean, for real. But, hey, I mean, it was a good day. It was a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday. But now, let's recap on some of the events that happened yesterday in the sports calendar. Of course, all eyes on the NFL on Thanksgiving, of course, as usual. The first game, we went over this yesterday, was the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. Annual Thanksgiving Day game for the Lions, and they're the annual underdog. But what I did not know is that Mitchell Trubisky was not going to play. I really didn't know that. That Chase Daniel was going to be the starting quarterback. I really didn't know. Maybe I might have picked the Lions yesterday if I'd have known that. But I didn't. I picked the Bears and was proven to be right because the Bears did win. It was a close game, like I thought. 23-16. The Bears won, and at the end of the game, the Bears defense, I don't know if you guys watched the game, but when they went, Fuller for the Bears made an interception in the end zone for the touchback. When they did their group celebration and he passed the football off to Prince Amukamara like it was a microphone, and they all just started doing the Temptations dance, and then the other player came out and was acting like a screaming fan. That was fun. That was good. That was good. That was hilarious. So it was a good game. You know, it was a classic black and blue division game. It was, hard-hitting defense. But, I mean, if you're Matthew Stafford, how can you get outplayed by Chase Daniel? How can you let that happen? How can you let that happen? You know, one thing that we know is that Thanksgiving Day, that's your house. Chase Daniel hadn't started a game in forever and ever and ever. Thank you kindly. Amen. But, Daniel had a good game, 27 for 37, 230 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, no INTs. Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, pretty much the same completion percentage, 28 of 38, 236, 2 interceptions. And it was the interceptions that were the game changers, because it was 16-16 when Matthew Stafford threw a pick six to Eddie Jackson, which made it 23-16. You're thinking that the Lions look like they're going to tie. I believe they have first and goal or second and goal, something like that. And, of course, he throws the interception to Fuller. Ball game. The Chicago Bears, the monsters of the Midway. Grrr. The Chicago Bears have won 5 straight games. 5 straight games. They are 8-3 and in total control of the NFC North. They are in total control. They look like, barring a late season kind of swan dive from either the Saints or the Rams, the Bears will be pretty locked into that 3rd seed and will be a problem because their defense comes to play. And if you look at the offensive stats, it was nothing really special. It was just a kind of a roll your sleeves up, throw on your hard hat and bring your lunch pail type of game, because nobody had any stats that would knock your socks off. Nobody had a game that would really knock your socks off on the offensive side of the board. Taylor Gabriel caught 7 passes for 49 yards, pedestrian. Tariq Cohen, slick running back, caught 7 passes for 45 yards and a touchdown, pedestrian. Anthony Miller had 3 receptions for 41 yards, pedestrian. Allen Robinson had 2 catches for 37 yards, pedestrian. But sometimes you just have to win games like that. I like I said, I did not know that Mitchell Trubisky was not going to play, and just a solid effort. Chase Daniels did what he had to do to win the game. And that's it. Did what he had to do. Excuse me while I sip my ginger ale and hope nobody spit in it. But, this pretty much spells curtains for the Lions. That's pretty much spells curtains for the Lions. And the Chicago Bears, you just keep on keeping on. Another one bites the dust. And they'll have an extra couple of days before their next game, which is on December 2nd, at the Giants. They'll be at the New York Giants. If Mitchell Trubisky comes back, that'll make the Bears 9-3. So, you look at the Chicago Bears schedule. Of course, next they play the Giants. Then a very interesting game on December 9th. They are home to the Los Angeles Rams. Now, we're going to see something. Now, we're going to see exactly what that Bears defense is really made of, because they're 8-3. The Bears could easily be 10-1. 2 of their 3 losses, they gave the game away. That week 1 opening night game against the Packers, where they had a 20-0 lead. Aaron Rodgers got hurt and then came back in the second half, and the Bears completely had a fourth quarter meltdown, and they lost 24-23. That was first game of the season. And then they win 3 straight. Then they have a game at Miami, and they're up 14 points twice. They're up 14 points twice. As a matter of fact, damn it to hell, the next week when they lost to the Patriots, they had a double-digit lead on the Patriots too. The Chicago Bears, can't be a world of what ifs, but I mean, it's factual to say that in the Bears' 3 losses, they had double-digit leads. The Chicago Bears could be 11-0. That's fathomable to say. But what's impressive is that since their loss to New England, which made them 3-3, they haven't lost a game. They've learned how to close out games. They have not lost a game. And they're gonna be a team that's gonna be tough to deal with. They're gonna be tough to deal with. And they're young, and they're not gonna be the favorite anyway. So that gets even more dangerous for them because they're not gonna have shit to lose. They're not gonna be the favorite. That's gonna be New Orleans or LA. So that was the first game. Of course, the second game is the game that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to. You would have swore out they had the records of the Chiefs and the Rams. All right, NFC East on the line. The Cowboys and Redskins. The Cowboys defeated the Washington Redskins 31-23. Remember yesterday I said the Cowboys should beat the Redskins. They have Colt McCoy as their quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, this is how I believe that what has just happened to the Redskins season. I believe I did say that yesterday. And of course, first half, tough game. Tough defensive, grinded out game. Dallas is up 10-7. And then the Redskins take the lead. Missed the extra point, which has been that's been the new thing to do in the NFL. Like, who cares about extra points anymore? So the Redskins take the lead. They go up 13-10. Then all of a sudden, the Redskins secondary forgets how to tackle. Amari Cooper is catching these little slants and having free lanes to go up the field. A 40-yard touchdown catch and a 90-yard touchdown catch. Boy, I know them Cowboy fans are walking with their chest out today.
You suck.
Oh, see? Yeah, we got Amari Cooper now. Yeah. Yeah. We got Amari Cooper, and we going back, and we going to win the Super Bowl. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You just beat a team with 3/4 of his offensive players in intensive care.
You suck.
But a win is a win. You handled your business. You held Adrian Peterson in check. But I will say this though. Your bitch ass has got some help from the referees. Definitely. Because even though you were up 31-20, with about 5 minutes to go, the Redskins were driving. And on the third down, I don't know what the hell happened to Colt McCoy, but he threw a ugly pass that just fluttered, looked like it had been tipped, but the replay showed nothing. Nobody hit the ball. Nobody deflected it. And it got tipped up and intercepted, but the receiver, Maurice Harris, was being held. The defender for the Cowboys was grabbing the jersey, tugged it back twice, right in front of the official. Right in front of the damn official. And nothing happened. Colt McCoy, angry. Should have been angry because he threw that ugly ass pass. Gruden, angry. He had every right to be. So Dallas gets the ball back, does nothing. The Redskins come back. They're driving down the field again. I think they're the Dallas 13. It's third down. And Colt McCoy throws over the middle. And the Cowboys defensive back just leads with the helmet. Bang! Right into Jordan Reed. I mean, Cole cocks him. Nothing. No flag. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. The fix is in. I said, you have got to be kidding me. Now, look, I hate how soft the NFL has gotten. But I do agree with the call if you lead with your helmet into another player's helmet. I do agree with that. A lot of times, what I don't like is when, players are leading with their shoulder and, the person with the ball is trying to get down, because a lot of that stuff is bang, bang motion and you can't, they're not video games. You can't control and contort your body in the blink of an eye, which is where a lot of these helmet to helmet or hits on defensive receivers penalties comes, and I think are bogus. This situation, and it's not because of how much I hate the Cowboys, Jordan Reed was standing straight up, and he's about 6'5". He was standing straight up. He wasn't going down. He was just trying to make the catch and keep running. And the defender for the Cowboys comes and blasts him, leads with his helmet, knocks his mouthpiece out like he's in a boxing ring, and nothing got called. Jordan Reed was pissed. I thought he was going to go after the official. He was mad. And I don't blame him because that was some BS, man. That was some BS. So that now puts Dallas in first place in the NFC. And it'll send the Cowboy fans on an emotional high with their chest out for 7 days before the Saints come in next week and kick the shit out of you. Period. You will get brought down to reality hard next Thursday night. But as far as stat goes, hey, Zeke ain't no joke, man. Feed the ball to Zeke. He been doing his thing. Amari Cooper 8 catches for 180. Got 130 of them on two of those catches. I mean, that's cool. To me, Dallas's offense is still very limited, even with Amari Cooper. Not hating, just saying. Redskins forgot to tackle on those two plays. They simply forgot to tackle. I mean, Dunbar falls down on the 40-yard play. He just falls down. Don't know why Josh Norman wasn't on Amari Cooper. So the Cowboys win. Their schedule is a schedule which I thought 2 weeks ago was murderer's row. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. But I still don't think they'll win the NFC East. I don't. I mean, I'm just being honest. I really don't. I honestly think now the team that's going to come out the NFC East with probably a 9-7 record is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I just see it. Now, I mean, if the Cowboys at this point now, the Cowboys should win the NFC East because they're the healthiest team. They should win the division, but they won't. They have the Saints next week. Loss. I don't believe they will beat the Eagles twice in 1 year. That's their next game. Loss. Then they have to go to Indianapolis, where Andrew Luck is red hot and fighting for a playoff spot in their own right. Loss. So, I'm just keeping area. So, I mean, the Cowboys have won 3 games to get to 6-5. I have them losing their next 3 games, and they will be 6-8 come Christmas time. And they still may be in position to win the division because the NFC East sucks. They suck.
You suck.
Let me hear that again. They suck.
You suck.
And as for the Washington Redskins, whose season, I believe, is now in the toilet. Unfortunately, because of the just multitude of injuries. And the Redskins have to really, they need to spend some money and get a legit number 1 receiver. They really need to spend some money and get a legit number 1 receiver because you don't have one. You haven't had a legit number 1 receiver in a long time. Not to sound like Jerry Jones. I mean, even when you had Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon, I mean, what you had is a B plus receiver in Deshaun Jackson and a B receiver in Pierre Garçon. I guess Deshaun Jackson on his best days, which he's still lightning fast, could be seen as a number one. He's not now in Tampa next to Mike Evans. But the Redskins haven't had a true number one receiver in a long time. A long time. What, Santana Moss's heyday? His prime? I guess. But their schedule, they're at Philly they're at Philly December 3rd, which is Monday Night Football. I see that as another loss. They're at Jacksonville. Honestly, I see that as another loss. I mean, I don't know, because I could see you stealing a game from Jacksonville, especially this season. Then you're at Tennessee, which is going to be a god-awful, ugly game. Maybe. I mean, you could possibly beat the Jags and the Titans, or you could easy as you could beat them in an ugly 16-13 game. You could lose to them too. Then you finish the season at home against the Eagles. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not looking good for the Redskins now. It really isn't. It's not looking good for the Redskins at all. And, I've just had that feeling with them all season that, even though, they were winning some games, it just looked weird. I mean, it was great to see Adrian Peterson doing his thing, and I still hope he continues to do his thing. But it almost felt like the Redskins were were surviving with a life raft around them. That you were just waiting and, pretty soon they were going to collapse. I mean, that's just the feeling that I got. I don't know. Because now if you had beat the Houston Texans last week and was 7-3, I wouldn't be saying this. But you did. Excuse me again while I sip my lemonade. Ginger ale. Thank you. Before I get to the third game, I would like to say that I hope, again, everybody is enjoying this. It was great. The reception, the text messages and things like that I received from my friends, my people, and it was cool. And I'll be honest with you, like I'm tired right now. I'm tired right now because I really haven't gotten any sleep the last 2 days. But whenever I start, doing this type of talk, just my juices get flowing, and I'm just like, yes, because honestly, I could do this. I could do this all day. And of course, you can definitely follow me at Brevon Towns. Definitely hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I also, again, do music. You can find my music. I'll start putting music on my YouTube page as well, but you can also find me on SoundCloud at Brevon, Brevon. I am from Richmond, Virginia. Okay, Holland Springs proud graduate. The 3-time, soon to be 4-time defending state football champs, motherfucker. Okay. Excuse my language, but it is what it is. I ain't getting paid. Nobody's signing no check for me. So I say what I want. So anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the last game, which honestly I didn't pay but so much attention to because I had the itis. I ain't gonna lie. But it went pretty much like I thought it was gonna go. I thought actually the Saints would score more points. They scored 31. They beat the Falcons 31-17. The Atlanta Falcons are done. They're finished. Unfortunately, I actually thought that they would actually be a threat to get to the Super Bowl, which is going to be in their building, by the way. Of course, stats. Atlanta's lack of a running game is its own undoing right now. Matt Ryan led the team in rushing last night. That's terrible. I know you don't have Devontae Freeman, but Tevin Coleman is a more than serviceable replacement. 8 carries for 6 yards, bro. Like I said, Matt Ryan's stats aren't bad. 377 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick, but he was sacked 6 times. Yo, the Saints defense has been on it since the Rams game. their defense has been on it. And the defense covered for a night where Drew Brees didn't have to go out and have a, unbelievable night. Drew Brees only threw for 171 yards, 4 short touchdown passes, 1 INT. They were running the ball. 150 rushing yards. Kamara 89, Ingram 52. So it wasn't a stat stuffing game by the Saints. I mean, the Falcons, if you just looked at the stats, you would say, damn, the Falcons beat them. But then you look at the rushing attack. You see the 377 yards from Matt Ryan. You see the 11 catches for 147 yards by Julio Jones. You see the 93 yards and the touchdown for Calvin Ridley. And Sanu, 4 catches, 74 yards. You didn't put up a touchdown till the third quarter, bro. By that time, you're fighting an uphill battle. And unfortunately, the Falcons are finished. They are done. Disappointing. Because they have one of the more dangerous, they have a dangerous set of skill position players. I mean, unfortunately, defense has, early in the season, rocked them to a hole which they just have not been able to recover. And I guess for some reason, they can't outscore people. Their next game is a home game to the Ravens. I mean, it's more for Baltimore to lose in Atlanta. I mean, if the Falcons win out, they could have a chance. I'm not going to put that out of the realm. I'm not going to put that out of the realm of possibility. But they would have to win out, win their last 5 games, and get a ton of help. You got you're home to the Ravens, and then you're at Green Bay, home to the Cardinals, at Carolina, at Tampa Bay. They could legit win all of those games. But I just don't see them getting in. They could legit win every last one of those games. But I think they're finished. I could be wrong. But, we know you're finished for the division. That's for damn sure. And the Saints, who are now 10-1, they are the number 1 seed in the NFC as they are tied with the LA Rams, but they won the head-to-head matchup. And the Saints, again, they get an entire week off. They play Dallas next Thursday. They're at Tampa Bay, at Carolina. At Tampa Bay, at Carolina, home to Pittsburgh. That should be interesting. And home to Carolina. You could easily see the Saints winning all of these games too, but they definitely have a tougher schedule. They play Carolina 2 times in the last 3 weeks of the season. That's gonna be tough because I think the Panthers will be fighting for their playoff lives. There's all of a sudden been some slippage in Carolina. All of a sudden, the Saints just keep doing what they do, and I mean they have to keep their foot on the gas because they're tied with the Rams and don't, like I said earlier, don't look now. The Bears are 8-3. They've won 5 in a row. So I mean they've got the division on lock. They've got the division on lock. I don't see that as being a problem. So yeah, those were your 3 Thanksgiving Day football games. It was cool, pretty cool, pretty decent. Pretty alright, Everybody wants. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people crush by the time around the second quarter and the third quarter of the 4 o'clock game of the Cowboy game. So that's probably usually when people start crushing. And we have got some major league games. We got some major league games coming up this weekend, this Sunday. We do. And I'm not going to point out all of them today. But I will give you some games where I definitely would suggest that you keep an eye on. I would definitely give you some games where I think you should keep an eye on. Let's see. There are games that you just simply won't care about. San Francisco or Tampa Bay, who cares?
You suck.
Um, Eagles and Giants. Keep an eye on that game because if the Eagles lose, that's almost like the knife to the heart. Even though the division will still be up for grabs. Lamar Jackson, the Lamar Jackson is almost here. It is almost here. They play the Raiders. They should win. Raiders suck.
You suck.
Everyone knows it. They're horrible. Hope Groot knows what he's doing.
You suck.
They suck. They got a lot of first-round draft picks. Hope Groot knows what he's doing. They suck. Why did Marshawn Lynch come out of retirement for this shit?
You suck.
They suck. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. And by the way, they suck. Another game to keep your eye on is Seattle and Carolina, and that's a 1 o'clock game, and it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, big game. While Carolina has the top wild card spot, is dicey because they were 6-2. They've lost their last 2 games. Seattle should be well rested. They played last Thursday night against the Green Bay Packers, and they won. They're 5-5. They're right in the middle. They're right there for that last wild card spot. They have to win. So that's a huge game. A huge game. Another game to keep your eye on, Miami and Indianapolis. 2 teams that are tied for that final wild card spot in the AFC. 2 5-5 teams is in Indianapolis. Andrew Luck is red hot right now. They've won 4 in a row. Andrew Luck is on fire right now. And 425, excuse me, the Steelers are at Denver. My Broncos. It's a big game for both teams because Pittsburgh right now is in the number 2 spot. I'm sure they would love to at least maintain that to get a bye week. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to depend on the Jets beating the Patriots. No. You can chalk that up to a hell no. The Broncos, of course, are a game out of the last wild card spot in the AFC. It's at Denver. Denver has played teams very tough in Mile High, but they have come up on the short end of the stick. They played the Chiefs tough, couldn't close the deal. Played the Rams very tough. They've lost some games at home where they were right there. And that's pretty much the outcome that I see Sunday against the Steelers. I'm a diehard Bronco fan, but I'm damn sure a realistic one. I am damn sure a realistic one. Case Keenum, you suck.
You suck.
We will have to make the playoffs for me to stop saying Case Keenum, you suck. Because you just do shit that irritates me. You hold on to the ball too long. You just do. Let me stop.
You suck.
You suck. That's another game to keep your eye on. Green Bay and Minnesota is the Sunday night game. Well, you got to keep your eye on that one because the first time they played this season, it was a tie. And Green Bay was robbed, period. That was an awful roughing the passer call on Clay Matthews on a play that turned into an interception. Green Bay was robbed, period. The officials, everybody should have just taken a frozen block of cheese and thrown them at every official as they walked off the damn field. They were horrible. It was a horrible call. It really was. You know what? Let me think about this. Let me ask a question. And I think this is a fair point. When players and coaches do certain things and they mess up, they get fined for it. Don't you think officials should be fined for making bad calls? You know, I think they should. I think officials should definitely be fined fined from their game check for making bad calls, especially if it determines the outcome of a game. That's just my idea. You'll fine a player for anything. I would fine the damn official. Fine him or suspend him if they make a bad call. And I understand, well, you know, people will have, you know, error. But what the hell is instant replay for? You know, if you get a call wrong and you look at replay and still make the wrong call, your ass should be fined or suspended. And your pockets should be checked too. I'm just saying, you know, not everybody thinks like me. And God bless them. Because sometimes I don't like to think like me. Another game to watch for is the Monday night game between Tennessee and Houston. It's going to be an ugly game, folks. It's going to be an ugly game. Two good defenses. Two very good defenses. And two very good defenses. And the Houston Texans have won 7 straight. They're 7-3. Very important game for them. You know, if they can switch seating with the Patriots, that would be smart. That would be smart. That would definitely be smart. So, it really wasn't much to talk about today in terms of the NBA. I actually watched this really cool documentary on Vince Carter this morning on Netflix. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I'm sitting here, you know, kind of looking at stats, looking at ESPN because I was watching Virginia. I was watching Virginia play Wisconsin in college basketball, and I would like to know who won that. And Virginia is playing Virginia Tech now on ABC. Man, if UVA don't beat Tech this year, I mean, come on. This is a horrible year for Tech. And I support both. I support all Virginia sports. So, I mean, I love the Cavaliers. I always have since I was a kid, but I love the Hokies too. I do. I love the Hokies too. I love VCU. You know. So, that should do it for the sports section. Where is it? There it is. All right. But I would like to talk about life. You know, and it's kind of hard to talk about. I don't know. You know, if you had to work today, I'm so sorry for you. I really am. I think it should be, hey, Virginia beat Wisconsin. Hey, number 4 team in the country. And Duke lost. I hate Duke like I hate the Cowboys. Period. And I'll just leave it at that. There'll be plenty of time to talk about college basketball. We haven't even gotten into conference play yet. But good to see Virginia still undefeated, ranked number 4. And they beat Wisconsin, who was ranked number 25. Good stuff. If you had to go to work today, I'm sorry. But what I did hear this morning, and this is just crazy. This is crazy. I heard this morning that in Alabama, in a shopping center in Alabama, there was a 21-year-old who was shot and killed by security because he shot somebody. And I guess because they were fighting over merchandise or whatever. Are you serious right now? Like, it is not that serious. I mean, I don't know if it would. I don't know. I just don't know. But on the surface tip, it just sounds dumb. I mean, it just sounds dumb. Kids, man. Kids. Just kids. And just on Black Friday, it's a day where it's gonna be an entertaining day. We know it's gonna be an entertaining day because people are out. Because we're trained to believe that that's the biggest shopping day of the year. We are. It's been embedded in our head. It's a market employ that's worked. We're trained to be like that, and but it doesn't need to come down to violence. Good God, as much as damn, Cyber Monday. The fuck, man. And it just gets on my nerves because it's such a waste of life. It's such a waste of life. It's like we are getting back to like the Wild West days where life was not valued at all. We just have more access to talk shit to each other. Thank you, social media. But that's what it is. I don't get it. People in shopping malls waving pistols. There could have been kids around and shit like that, But let me say this, man. To anybody, I have talked to a lot, of people who simply, it's something that's always wrong. And what people really, 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 really need to understand is that it's always a better day when you're above ground than it is when you're under. If you have, then on top of that, there are people out here that have, whose situation is so far worse than that of your own. We're people, we get mad because we have a car note. Now, don't get me wrong, I hate having a car note. But I'm blessed to be able to afford a car note. Don't want to have one, but I'm blessed enough to be able to provide the money for the most part to pay a car note. I'll be behind on my shit sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. But you get what I'm trying to say. But there are people that don't have that, and they don't have nothing. There are people that complain so much. And then you look out there, you go to a median and you see somebody with a homeless sign. I don't know if that's legit or not, whatever. But you do know that there are people out there who have it way worse off. And if you're able to, you're complaining about having a car note while you go to your job. Or you're complaining about going to work and you even have a job. You're blessed enough to have a job. And I really wish that just people would get the fuck out of their own way, because, misery loves company. And I have spent such a long time in my life trying to satisfy and, make other people happy. I have so shit on myself, not literally, but I have so, just not, I have not looked out for B, and the sad part is that it could possibly hurt people, I don't want to say hurt people, but I'll definitely get a side-eye look because, like I said, I've been through a lot. I'm not going to go into detail. Maybe one day I will. Maybe I won't, but I'm not going to go into so much detail. I've been through a lot, and, it's just made me just kind of, giving me this mentality as basically saying, I just can't worry about what everybody else is doing outside except for my two kids. that I just can't do it. Because at the end of the day, people only give a fuck about you, but so much. And you could disagree. Fine. If you disagree, leave the comment. Let's agree to disagree. But people only care about you, but so much. People care about you when it doesn't affect their agenda. I put it like that. But I'm a person who I know I still have a lot of growing to do, and people in general have a lot of growing to do. Now, I will say this society today sucks. I mean, because we pacify everybody, and we pacify everybody because people don't like to hear the truth about themselves. People love to tell the truth to other people, but people hate hearing the truth about themselves. This is the society we live in today. We are so backwards as people. We are backwards as shit, at least in this country. It is amazing how, if you actually think about things at its core, you would look like, what? What? You would look at, particularly in America. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this country. I love this country. I'm proud to be an American. Wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world. But this is backwards. This society is backwards. This society does not necessarily care about you as an individual. So to me, phrases like all men are created equal is bullshit. And I'm just saying it like it is. I'm a black man. I know I ain't created equal. Hell, we about to be, my race it's very possible could become an endangered species. And endangered species are protected by the government. I don't see that shit happening for black people. No, man. No, it is backwards. We are a country that, has gotten people so insecure. This is why men and women's relationship fuck up. Because people are, we preach health, but we actually charge for health insurance. We preach health, but then we have the greasiest, most delicious piles of unhealthy food commercials and bright lights with food and colors that will attract us, advertising all the time. We preach health, but if somebody actually came with a cure for deadly diseases, you think that person would actually get paid attention to? Because it happened. I'm going to leave that at that. That'll be for another day. But it happened. But we preach health. We preach health, and then we preach gluttony at the same damn time. Ain't that backwards? We want Americans to be healthy and cared for and blah, 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 blah. But we charge for health insurance. We want to create more jobs in the economy, but we cut hours because we don't want to, the company doesn't want to pay for the insurance. Hey, my phone's ringing. How about that? My phone is ringing. Yay. Reality podcast. So, I mean, it's the truth. You know why health and gluttony are both promoted at the same damn time? Because health, we preach health, but it's really not that important. You know why? Because ain't no money in healthy people. No money in healthy people. There is a cure for AIDS. There is a cure for cancer. There is a cure for Alzheimer's. There is a cure for herpes growing on your nuts. There is. We ain't gonna get it because it ain't money in healthy people. It ain't money in healthy people, and it ain't money in a nation full of law-abiding citizens. With that, people, we gonna get into that for another time, for another day. It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. This has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. Again, subscribe to me on Brevon Towns at YouTube. Definitely hit my music up at Brevon, Brevon, on SoundCloud. Peace, one love. Remember, it's always a better day when you're above ground rather than underground. I'm out.